Suddenly being the protector of my family became a problem because my mother had a thing for men that she needed protecting from. Unfortunately, if she had to choose me or the guy, she would always choose the guy. So she didn't look at me trying to protect her as the act of love that it was. I remember vividly one day I was on the computer in the living room searching through Ask Jeeves for a research paper I was writing. And her and her boyfriend at the time were arguing. They got louder and louder, and then I heard a thud followed by a glass being broken. So I hopped up and I ran to see what was going on. And her boyfriend had her by the throat up against the wall. So I instantly ran to the kitchen. I didn't even think. And I grabbed a utensil that I could use to protect her. Ran back into the room, and I did what I had to do to make sure my mother was safe. The guy left the apartment, and she chased after him. I remember being confused because I just saved you, but instead you're running toward him. And she was begging him to come back, and when he refused, she came inside screaming at me. Why would you do that? What is wrong with you? What if he doesn't come back? And I remember thinking, why would you want him to come back, Mom? I didn't understand it at the time, but she looked at men as providers, and I just ruined what possibly was paying the bills. You see, trying to protect my mother from a man meant trying to take away her income or the way she got her bread. That night, she continued to yell at me, and I just remember feeling like I will never be who she needs me to be. I felt like I would never be enough for my mother, that I was doing everything in my power to show her that I could be strong, I could be brave, but it seemed like it was always the wrong thing. And it was getting tough to manage. I was only a kid, but I had already made attempts on my own life because I felt like no matter what I did, nobody cared about me, nobody saw me, nobody valued me. I even started spending nights at my uncle's house just to get a break from the madness. And sometimes my mom would come over and get me so we could spend some time together. And I remember one day we were walking from my uncle's going back to our apartment, and a kid I was in school with asked me to meet him to play basketball later on that day. And I told him, yeah, sure, man, I'll see you later, not thinking anything of it. My mom's energy shifted, but I know I didn't do anything wrong. There's no way she's mad at me. We got back to the house, and the moment the door shut behind us, she started wailing on me. I remember being in fetus position, crying, Mom, why are you doing this? What did I do? I remember her telling me, I refuse to raise a fast-ass daughter. And many things ran through my mind, but the top three were, one, I don't even like boys, but I'm not going to say that now because then it might make it worse. Two, I'm the furthest thing from fast. Those things weren't even on my mind till way later in life. And three, that this would be the last time she hurt me this way. I laid there while she beat me for no reason at all, knowing that for the first time I would have to tell the business. If you like me and you grew up in the type of situation I did, you know that you never tell what's going on in the home to anybody outside of it. And I had kept my lips sealed for long enough. I cried myself to sleep that night, thinking about how what I was about to do was going to change my life. When I got to school the next day, I went straight to my guidance counselor and my basketball coach and told them what was going on at home. They called my social worker, and I was removed. My teacher ended up getting custody of me for a bit, and then I went to court a few weeks later to ask them to make me a ward of the state. I had made a decision that I was no longer going home to my mom, and I didn't want her to be able to access me anymore. No matter how many times they got her sober, no matter how many times she did a parenting class, it seemed like she just couldn't get it right. And if I stayed, I could tell that I would end up either really hurt or I would never become the me I thought I could. I was only 13 at the time, but I knew that there was something better out there for me. So I asked the judge to revoke her parental rights and make me a ward of the state until I graduated high school. And he did. I was excited for this new chapter of my life, but I also was mourning what I had to walk away from. You know, I spent the past few years being the protector of my siblings, being the safe space of my siblings, being their stability. And I had made a decision to choose me, to leave, to walk away from them and leave them with somebody I knew wasn't good for them. But I also was excited because I had a chance at a life outside of what was so familiar and shouldn't have been, outside of the trauma I was living on a day-to-day basis. And don't get it twisted, foster homes weren't the best, but it was better than what I was experiencing from the person who gave me life. I had to free myself. And that was choice number 2. Choosing to show up for me when I realized nobody else was. It was the hardest choice, but it was the most necessary.